Poppin', y'all? This is your go-to guy for the hour, DJ Brian Jew, and you're listening to What's Poppin' on TBS efm 101.3. Tuesday is upon us, and the weather is supposed to be relatively nice today, according to the weather forecast, but you can look outside and see for yourself, and I'm not sure if you agree, because right now I can't agree or disagree, because I'm in a dungeon studio right now with no windows, so I can't really tell what the weather is like outside, so let us know. Tweet us the weather right now for these of you guys in Korea. Not the weather in the States. I'm talking about the weather here in Seoul, Korea. All right, with that said, right now it's time to mention the word up word of the day. I'm not going to say the actual word, but as you guys know, the opening song that we're going to play for you guys for the first half of our show has the word up word of the day. And today's opening song is by a sexy, sexy singer who I love and adore because her musical talents and because she's just physically so attractive. We have a Rihanna featuring David Guetta with Who's That Chick? Now, listen closely for the word up word of the day. Welcome back to What's Poppin' with Brian Jew. We're on TBS efm 101.3 in Seoul and surrounding areas, and GFN 98.7 in Gwangju, and also 93.7 in Yeosu. Now, here are some ways you can get in contact with us here at What's Poppin'. You can send us a text at pound 1013 for a charge of 51, or you can send us a tweet at EFM Poppin', or send us an email at efmpoppin@gmail.com. It's pretty simple. Now, remember, too, that you can join us here on our open studios on Wednesdays, which will be aired on Friday. Okay, it will be broadcast on Friday, so keep that in mind. But if you want more information or just want to be involved, don't forget to email us your reserve spot, of course. And that's going to be every Wednesdays at 11 a.m. And you guys got to be here a little bit before 11, of course, to get a proper seat. And, just take attendance and see who's there for our open studio. But like I said, email us at efmpoppin@gmail.com, your name, phone number, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. And now it's time to go over the word up word of the day. So, most of you might have guessed, because of the first song and because of yesterday's word, dude, what today's word is going to be. Yes, we want to be fair here since we said dude yesterday. Today's word up word of the day is chick. Now, what is a chick? A lot of you are probably thinking, I know what a chick is. A chick is a baby bird. You know, it comes out of a chicken or other birds. Well, I mean, yeah, you can use that word in that way as well. But also, did you know women, girls, ladies are also called chicks as well? But it's actually slang, so you don't want to just use it all the time. Also, this word originates from another slang term for women. They used to call them birds. Yes. Women are actually called birds. Well, if you like younger women, then you'd be a chick, of course. For some reason, though, if the girl's a little too young, like I say, maybe 12 or younger, I prefer you not to call them chicks. Just call them young women. And the word does not have the same versatility as the word dude does. So you can't just go up to any girl on the street and be like, hey, what's up, chick? Because they might take offense to that word. All right, guys? So don't just go up to nobody and just say, what's up, chick? You don't want to call your mom a chick. You don't want to call your teacher a chick because you will get a slap in the face. I'm just giving you a heads up. I know it's a little confusing, but you're like, Brian, you just said chick means a girl, but now you're telling us not to call our mom a chick because it gets complicated. I don't go into detail right now because if I go into detail, we'll be here for hours and hours and hours. Anyways, I'm going to call this one next lady that I'm going to introduce a chick. A very talented chick, of course. She used to be in a group, Destiny's Child. One of my favorite members in Destiny's Child after Beyonce. She's a very talented singer. This is Kelly Rowland with I'm That Chick. Check it out, y'all. That was my girl Kelly Rowland with I'm That Chick. Now, coming up on today's show, it's Tuesday, so we're going to have Michael Jones join us in the second half for our Poppin' review. Mike will review an album from back in the day or even from a few days ago. It's whatever he feels like going over, old school, new school. But if you want to find out, you got to stick around for the second half to find out. Right now, we're going to go over another song. Of course, like I said, today we went over our word of the day, which is chick, which means girl. So this next group does use the word chick in their song, but it actually is about baby chickens. I know that's kind of funny. You're probably thinking, why are we listening about baby chickens? Is this like a Barney program? No. We just want to mention this song because we have to give a versatility in music here at What's Poppin'. And this duo of Japanese chicks actually met in New York in the 1990s and immediately clicked, just like our girls here at K-Popular as one. Yes. And Yuka Honda and Miho Hattori eventually formed an indie band called Chibo Mato and were really hot in the New York indie scene. They were so popular that they were picked up by Warner Brothers and added more members, including Sean Lennon, of course, son of John Lennon, and Yoko Ono. And enough about the group right now, though, because we're going to hear a song from Chibo Mato. This is Know Your Chicken. That was Chibo Mato with Know Your Chicken. It's a very unique song. I never heard that song before, but it's interesting here. We don't discriminate. We participate here at What's Poppin'. You know, that's what's going on. It's poppin'. You got to know what's poppin' in the world, not just in the mainstream, but in the indie scene as well. Anyways, we're going to go over the next song. And the next song is actually by an individual, a female individual who I love listening to because I haven't seen her lately, though. She hasn't been doing much in the music scene lately, but back in the day, she had some good b-boy, popping, locking tracks. People just listen to her music and dancing. And I just want to say this chick, I'm going to call her chick, but she is, This is Missy You know what I'm talking about? Missy Elliott, yes. And I love Missy Elliott because she did her thing, She came up with Timbaland and, and people she blew up. She's an independent woman. She worked with many, many artists, and she has some great, fun, poppin' tracks. Like I said, the last song of the first half of her show is going to be played, we're going to play a song from her. And again, like I said, today's word of the day was called chick. And for all you chicks out there, all my fans and all the listeners, I want to dedicate this song to you guys because to me, you guys are wonderful, beautiful, educated. Yeah, that's a little ghetto right there. Educated. My Jersey roots coming out. How you feeling? How you doing, babies? Anyways, this is Missy Elliott with the song Smooth Chick, dedicated to all my smooth chicks around the world. Check it out. Welcome back to What's Poppin', and it's time for What's Poppin' Paparazzi. Now, today's Paparazzi, we're going to go over some TMZ news that was in the news recently. Now, this is something shocking to me because I haven't heard this name in the media for a long time. This is Mr. Hulk Hogan willing to fight Fallon Fox. Yes, and it's entitled I Will Crush Him or Her. And the reason why is to give you a little background information. Fallon Fox is a UFC fighter who was born a man but underwent a gender reassignment surgery. For a lot of you guys don't know what that is. Basically a man turned into a woman and now competes in the women's division. Yes, and while the UFC is not keen on letting Fallon Fox duke it out in the octagon anytime soon, wrestling legend Hulk Hogan says the MMA transgender fighter is welcome in his ring any day, even if the idea confuses him a little bit. Hulk was at LAX Saturday when TMZ asked the wrestling god all about the Fox controversy. She wants to fight chicks in the UFC, but a ton of MMA peeps, including her opponents Dana White and Joe Rogan, say it's not fair since she was born a man. But Hulk is an equal opportunity destroyer and told her cameraman not only will he take on Fox, he'll crush him. Dang! Those are some deep words right there. I'll crush him. I don't know why I was going to do it with an accent like, I will crush him. He's not like Dolph Lundgren or anything. Then he gets confused and says her, and then him, back and forth. So, I mean, you should just watch it. I think it's hilarious. Props to Hulk Hogan anyways, even though this is no way to solve a problem at hand, of course. So, does this make Hulk Hogan more or less of a man? I don't know. Well, who knows? Nobody knows. But a few years back, Macho Man Randy Savage made a rap album, and the best track on the album was a diss song about Hogan called Be a Man. Yes, there were some disses back in the day between the wrestlers. So rest in peace, Mr. Macho Man. And with that said, we have a song that was actually sung by Randy Savage himself. And this is dedicated, like I said, from the album to Hulk Hogan. And the song is called Be a Man. Now it's time for What's Poppin' Review.
Hey, that's...
yeah.
That song makes me want to fight. Not you.
Dun-dun-dun.
It's like, it should be like super, like you could see Rocky punching people onto that, in that song.
That song makes me want to feel, it makes me feel mellow and relaxed.
It does not.
I'm just joking.
Dude, well, the thing with that song is like, it's actually Led Zeppelin, if anybody doesn't know this. It's Led Zeppelin's Kashmir, that intro song. What's cool about it is like, you could put that song and loop it and it would be a really good workout song. But
also a good rap song too.
It totally would make a good rap song. In fact, maybe somebody's already done it.
I feel like Eminem did something like with that. Cause it kind of sounds like his, you gotta lose yourself in the music moment. It kind of has that vibe too.
Yeah. Anyway, it would be a cool song, but the thing with the song is it gets kind of slow. Like when he starts to sing, when Robert Plant starts to sing, it kind of slows down a little bit, and then it comes back and goes back. So it kind of loses some of that punch and power. But anyway, it's one of the best song intros out there, in my opinion.
Like you said earlier, someone did do it. P. Diddy.
P. Diddy?
It's the P, the I, the D, blah, blah. Forget the lyrics.
P. Diddy did it?
It's Diddy, hold up. Not that song, but P. Diddy reused that track in one of his tracks in the songs.
The Kashmir?
Yes.
Oh man,
P. Diddy, the owner of Bad Boy.
I know who P. Diddy is.
Puff Daddy.
Sean
Puffy
Puff
Combs.
Daddy.
Yes, Sean John. He just got too many names out there.
Comb over guy.
Over guy. Okay.
Puff Daddy combs over.
Okay.
His bald spot. Hey, where were you in 1995, Brian?
In 1995,
if you tell me you were like in diapers, I would totally believe it. But go ahead.
I wish.
See,
actually, no. If I wore a diaper in 1995, I'd be ridiculed because I was in school.
You'd be arrested.
Yes, I'd be arrested. I was in Jersey.
Okay.
And I was probably just getting my education on and trying to make my parents happy as a Korean American growing up in New Jersey by studying to be a lawyer or a doctor.
Right.
Which I'm glad I did not become. Yes.
I think you'd probably have made a great lawyer, great doctor, great whatever. But, you know, like
the sight of blood freaks me out.
I just can't see you being all serious like that. Like, oh yes, now it's time for being serious.
What?
No, I just can't see it, man.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dr. Jew's office. Today I'm going to
After
examine
studying
you.
at Oxford for 3 years, I came back with a new thing on life, yes.
And just because I'm a doctor, I have an accent now.
Yes, exactly. I don't know why, but somehow British equals intelligence. All right. If you're wondering where I was, which
Where
I
were
know
you in
so many of
1995?
you are doing right now.
You're in Canada.
No, I was in the United States, actually. I was going to university. I was
San Diego.
No. San Diego was just my favorite city.
Okay.
I was actually in Corvallis, Oregon, at Oregon State University, and I was
Alrighty.
living in a fraternity, living with 60 other guys. It was quite an experience. If anybody ever goes to American University, I recommend either a sorority or actually, I would have much preferred a sorority. I would have been living with 60 girls.
Weirdo.
Would that not have been cool?
Weirdo.
No, I don't mean in like I want to wear women's underwear or anything. I mean, well, anyway, I was living in a fraternity.
You were living in a fraternity.
It was a lot of fun. I was doing a lot of partying. It was a lot of really good times. And you know, if I look back on it, it was one of the best times in terms of music for me. It was really, really influential in terms of music. It was there were bands like Pearl Jam that were coming out. 1992 Pearl Jam. They actually came out before then.
Wow, you were in university back then.
I was in university.
I just realized I was graduating 8th grade.
Yeah, well, I've got students. I teach university now, and I've got students who, when I tell them I graduated high school in 92, they're like, I was born then.
Yeah, no,
I'm like, dude, I could be your dad. That's not good.
What if you were?
I wasn't.
Okay, that's another topic.
I was a good boy.
Okay.
Anyway, Stone Temple Pilots came out then. Of course, I was discovering the Beatles when I was in
They're
university.
all great bands.
Yeah, I was, before going to college, I didn't know the Beatles. Last week I talked about the Beatles, so
Yes,
it's
you
kind
did.
of, still my favorite band. I discovered Bob Dylan, and I discovered a really cool band that was actually influenced. I talked about them last week. They were influenced by the Beatles, particularly the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. And can you guess who that band is?
I'm assuming I kind of know because I saw it on paper already.
Oh, that's cheating, man.
That's cheating. Don't pre-show me the
Dude,
names then.
That's...
Cheating. This is my...
Eugene, change the way I want to give him surprises, all right? All right. Eugene's like, yeah, shut up. No, the name of the band is Oasis.
Yes.
And the particular album in question is What's the Story, Morning Glory, which I think is one of their... it is
one of
their
songs.
best albums.
Okay. Oh, that's the name of the album, not the song.
That's the name of the album.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the Story, Morning Glory.
Okay.
You were telling me an interesting story about Morning Glory once, weren't you, Brian?
Yes, I was.
Yes. We'll keep that between ourselves.
Yes.
Yes. We were having a bit of a debate beforehand, but...
I'm educated.
Yes. What do you think? You've heard the album.
I did not hear the whole album.
Okay, but you, of course, know the top 3 songs.
I wonder...
No, I'm not. Apparently, BFF Asiatic has forbid me from singing. You're you can sing. She likes your
the
song.
lyrics, though.
Yeah.
Is that the right song?
That's-
I
I can't remember. I get Wonderwall and Champagne Supernova and Don't Look Back in Anger. I get them all mixed up. I know they're different songs, but I get the titles.
There
you go.
Yeah. Of course I know
Great
that
song. Great song.
Great song.
So, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the album because, basically, when I think about this album, 3 things come to mind.
All right. What are
Three
the
very important things. Number 1, it sounds just like the Beatles.
Okay, so it's more of a updated nowadays version of the Beatles.
It's a nouveau Beatles version thing. And a lot of, actually, I was doing a little bit of research on this album. A lot of critics said that, oh man, this album is like all these guys, they're obsessed with the Beatles. And I never really heard it. Like, there are three main songs that came off of this album. I don't really hear the Beatles in there. I hear, like, their lyrics, they talk about it a little bit, but I don't really hear it. Whereas if you listen to the rest of the songs on the album, wow, do they ever sound like the Beatles.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, their voice tone and everything?
Just, there's a beat, there's a similarity. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I'm listening to it and it's like I'm listening to, I don't know, the Help album or something, like, help, I need somebody, with a 1990s kind of grunge sort of twist.
Okay.
And it also reminds me, as I said, of my university days. Smoking cigarettes in the sun. I don't know. Am I allowed to talk about me smoking cigarettes?
Yeah, you're not saying anything bad.
I don't
just talking
smoke
about a
now.
memory.
Smoking is bad. Everybody should stop smoking cigarettes right now.
Yes.
There you go.
General surgeon's warning.
But back then it was so... Thank you very much for attending. Back then it was cool. Did you ever smoke cigarettes, Brian?
I'm not going to lie. Of course. Everyone's had that phase in their life. Yeah.
How often did you smoke?
Not that often.
Once a day? One pack a day?
No, once a day probably. But once I knew I wanted to become a singer, that's when I realized, you know what, I need to stop ruining my voice at a young age. So
see, when I was in college, I wanted to be a singer, so I smoked. Because I thought smoking equals good singing voice.
Actually, there are some singers in, the business, the mainstream business, who do smoke to get a huskier voice.
Right.
Yes. And I couldn't do that because if I had a husky voice, it wouldn't suit me.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It suits a lot of other people. Like I've seen Michael Buble, he has a cigarette from time to time with a nice glass of scotch or whiskey.
For throat purposes.
No, just to relax. After his show, I saw one of his behind-the-scenes documentary type of things.
Really?
So after he gets off stage, literally he goes to his dressing room, sits down, has, I think it's either Jim Beam or something, some scotch or whiskey.
Some Glenlivet or something.
On ice.
Okay.
Takes a sip of that and has a cigarette. And he's like, we're good to go.
We're good to go.
Yes. But he's Michael Bublé.
Right.
The ladies love Michael Bublé.
What's that song he sings? Till I found another you, or I still haven't found you yet, something like that. That's Buble, isn't it?
Just haven't met you
That's
yet.
right. I love that song, man. That guy's cheery. And he's
I'm
Canadian.
Not surprised, not everything lasts. That song, yes. He has a great voice.
In 1995, Brian, I was also working at a bar.
In 1995, I was working at a shoe store.
At a shoe store.
Tying shoelaces up on new shoes that were coming in
Nice.
stock and then putting them on people. It's the worst job because I'd have to interact with people who annoyed me like crazy.
Did you ever get, like, smelly feet?
Of course.
I mean, that's just rude. Why do people go into a shoe store with smelly feet? Lesson to everybody. Don't smoke cigarettes. And the second lesson is, if you go to buy shoes, make sure you got clean feet.
But since that memory came up, I just want to say to you guys, I don't want to look back in anger because of that memory. And that's the title of the song we're going to play for you right now. This is Oasis with Don't Look Back in Anger. That was Oasis with Don't Look Back in Anger.
Really cool
But right
song.
now, because of time, we need you to quickly wrap up what's going on with this album.
Okay, well, really, really quickly, like that album, or that song's really interesting. You could definitely hear a couple of Beatles references, particularly John Lennon. It says, I think I'll start a revolution from my bed, which John Lennon and Yoko Ono did. They laid in bed all the time and
wrote music?
Well, I don't know. It was like some love revolution long thing that was going on. Great album. In my opinion, I guess with Oasis, like, I don't know, they just got into so much trouble in the news and stuff. Like Liam Gallagher, the front man, the singer, main singer there. They're two brothers, Noel and Liam. Liam kept getting into trouble. Like, I don't know if he's drinking too much. I don't know what's going on.
Could be ADD.
He may just be a little bit nutso. And I mean,
Yes.
as an artist, as a singer, like, you've probably met some interesting characters.
Oh, yes.
In terms of people who are
Definitely.
have different personalities, I suppose. It takes a certain kind of, I don't want to say arrogance, bravado, I think is better. A certain kind of confidence to be a singer. And maybe that's what's going on here. I don't know. They ended up, the band is now defunct. They're gone. They broke up. And it's actually okay because I think this album is the best album that they produced.
Okay.
And yeah, like, they had a lot of problems. And it's kind of too bad because I think that they could have this album was really good. It was an evolution from their first album. And the albums that came afterwards, I just don't think, it was like they were trying to repeat the success that they got off of this album, and they refused to let go of the past success and kind of evolve and move on to doing new and unique things. And I think they had a lot of potential that they just kind of squandered because they were busy fighting and doing all sorts of ego-related stuff, and it's too bad. So I guess we got to move on to the next song, eh?
Yes, we're actually going to play two songs back-to-back for you guys right now.
Awesome.
Two songs that were on the album that are great songs, of course. So this is Oasis with Wonderwall, and also Champagne Supernova. And we
great
want to thank
song,
Mike
guys.
for his review and bringing in a great album. Once again, we'll see you
Awesome.
next week.
All right, you guys, see ya.
So as we send off Mike Jones, I also want to say it's time for me to say goodbye. This is Brian G signing off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.